bigger game. The cost rationalization is a religion in Indigo. There is no compromise. Everything that we look at is from the lens of the fuel burn, how to reduce. So anything that will reduce the weight of the aircraft, anything that reduction in the aircraft weight is because higher the weight, higher the fuel burn. So it is regarding, it's about the fuel, not so much about the weight itself. So anything that we do, you will find the trolleys, where we serve, we have those lighter ones, we have smaller ones, we have, we keep fighting with the government. For example, there was the standard thing that you have the navigation plans, navigation books, which have to be carried all the time, which is a mandatory requirement. They were 25 kilos each set, which are, you'll find in the aircraft sometimes. If you look inside the cockpit, you'll find these big bags with the books, big books being put in the aircraft. We say, why can't we put it on a tablet? Why do we have to carry 25 kilos? Why do we have to carry this? Why do we have to carry that? For example, one of the reasons people many times ask is, why don't you serve a meal? What is there in a meal? Bhai, 100 rupees zyada le lo yaar, khana khila lo. And it's a very logical thing to say. What is the big deal? Why do you not sell meals? The reason why we don't sell meals is not because of the 100 rupees that we make or whatever we make. The reason is that the moment you put meals on the planes, you will have meals being loaded, then the meals offloaded, and that process will take minimum of 10 minutes. And 10 minutes, if you add to the whole day, you will add one flight. So what is more important? Are you going to be flying or are you going to be putting meals? Everything we question like that, if we, when we started, I told my boss, today I flew Kingfisher, bada acha laga. He said, kya acha laga tumhare ko, Kingfisher? I said, what happened? I sat from Bangalore, I listened to nice Hindi music, and on the screen I watched an old cricket match. I couldn't have asked for more, it was my day. Why can't we do this? So he said, if we put a console for a music, it will be 70 kilos. I said, okay. And then the screen will have their own weight. And this weight will mean much more cost than the benefit. And please show me those passengers who will only fly because of music and not because of the timings. So let me give you one very simplistic example, but tell you how much impact it makes. We don't serve hot meals on the plane. For hot meals to be served to 180 passengers, you need 4 ovens. An oven, which is inside the plane, weighs 60 kilograms. So 240 kilograms ovens in the plane. We keep taking out this 200 crores, 400 crores, 800 crores to get to that number that we have just said. Nothing else. Nothing else. Trust me, we park the planes closer to runway, we don't care whether buses take you, where we take you, so that we just turn around and take off. We do everything day in and day out, we just keep looking at one element, how to keep the cost down. Nothing else matters in Indigo. Let me assure you, there is no other magic thing. And that's as simple as that. And if you look, and why I'm saying in your businesses, if you look, you know what you will be told? Just like what I'm told when I tell my family to put out the lights and they're not in the room. Buddha hai, chip chip karta hai. These finance guys are told, that, all the time you're going tick, 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 tick. You don't think about the big picture. Now let me tell you about the big picture that you are told every day by your Chief Marketing Officer, by the Chief Executive Officer. So you're seeing this lovely magazine that you get on the plane. So we have these lovely magazines you have on the aircraft. And many of us have brought those magazines home from Jet Airways You know, those big magazines, the lovely stories, and all these airlines carry this big magazine. Now that magazine, which is thick and nice and looks nice lying in the drawing room, is weighing half a kilo, 600 grams, whatever. Now just go back to what I just explained.
Yes.
Now this magazine is having that kind of weight on that plane and that kind of bomb running into 700-800 crores. Yet the marketing head is telling the boss, हमको इंक्रीमेंट चाहिए क्योंकि हम इतना सारा एडवर्टाइजमेंट आया आपकी मैगजीन के लिए. And how much will that advertisement be? 5 लाख रुपया का, 10 लाख रुपया का, 6 लाख रुपए का इनर पेज, आउटर पेज का हमने रेट बढ़ा दिया 12 lakh rupees, and the total will not even come to 10% or 20% of the cost that you are incurring. Yet, as in life, we all become victims of our own growth and good times. You know, we started with one pamphlet. Now our management has also, you know, polluted the mind of finance people to say that we must have 100 grams of magazine to हमको होना चाहिए. Because it's very important information we give. We tell you how to eat samosa, we are actually what to pack. So as a result of that, what we have done, we have kind of compromised and said, okay, we'll keep magazine, but you will find in Indigo, magazine is not in front of every seat. It is only in 2 seats, एक पड़ा, ये पड़ा, वो पड़ा, ऐसे पड़ा. क्योंकि वो फिर accountant जितना दबा सकता है दबा लेता है. In 60, we tried to reduce the weight of the paper. It became transparent. They said, yeah, ये तो see through हो गया. तो हमने फिर वापस weight बढ़ा दिया paper का. So I'm just telling you the kind of odd process that goes into the running of an airline. It is as simple as that to run an airline. Planes are meant to fly. All the time, you know, we have to think, what will it take for the planes to fly more? And meals, I just gave an example. You put meals on the plane and you have lost 1 flight a day.
And the force also will come to just look at the cost. Just want to very curious to understand from your company will emerge, you have a separate team or it is like a way of life. Everyone has to think about the cost first and then the business. Just want to pick up your thoughts on this.
No, it's really about, there are no rewards, there are no awards. Obviously, it's been kept away. Because the moment you link benefits for everything in life, you don't get the full outcome. I've seen our, you know, the man who runs Indigo Travel. He is an example of what you should be. Like, if he sees a spot on the glass, he will ask a tissue. He'll not ask the crew to do. He'll do it himself. You know, he'll do those kind of things. Is not what's done on the plane. He lives day in and day out. And it's about pride. So the team, for example, is always thinking how to reduce cost. And let me give you a latest example, not latest, but among the recent examples. One young lady on the plane said, you know, this fancy medical boxes lying in the aircraft. You know, when you get an aircraft, there's a medical box which is so beautiful, you know, nice steel box. And you have all the medical kit because you need to carry it on the plane. And she said, why are you carrying this steel box? Take it off. Why don't you put it in a cloth bag? 20 kilos off. You know, so everything, curtains were used to be there off, everything off, nikalo, cut out, weight light, you know. So it is about that pride. And the pride drives it. We all are always looking, and you know, it's just that thing which I think is driven top down, but it's about the pride. And you need to work on it, but largely people are so positive and cooperative that if we just encourage the closed forum, and I'm, you know, talking to all of you. First, when we came in with Indigo, we found that time was not fully respected. Largely it was led by the government sector. They were not very respectful to the time gap. Everybody's time is most important. So why don't we try and emphasize that we will be on time? So we called it Indigo Standard Time, we said we are on time, and we started this whole campaign that it's on time. But actually, if you think about it, what did we say? It's like telling somebody in the office that kal aap time par aana. It's given. You're taking money. Flying on time is something which is not something which is like you need a campaign for it. It is just like somebody telling me, excuse me, what is the office time by the way? अरे भाई time सबको पता है कितने बजे आना है सबको पता है. What is that? For serving hot meals to 180 important passengers. Can't say anything more about you. But think about it, how many times Indigo, can anybody guess how many times does Indigo fly in a year? A wild guess, any number you want to take. In a year, 365 days, how many times Indigo flies?
Around 6 lakh times.
6 lakh times, okay. Anybody else?
Million times.
Okay. So we fly broadly, in a very generalist way, 2,000 flights a day.
Was when I heard the word cost rationalization, because we are so habitual of hearing cost cutting instead of cost rationalization. I have a very simple question. So the cost per kilogram, I'm sure must be your favorite metrics to look at every single day. Now, this is coming from my personal experience. I have paid charges for extra luggage, for carrying extra weight. And I've always challenged this to the airline people that I am lighter than most of the other passengers. So when you're so much conscious about the total weight you're carrying, why can't you incentivize travelers where the holistic total weight of them plus the luggage they're carrying is on the lower side?
So, and that was never between my boss and I. If both of us get where we need to be, like all of you, you can be assured that is also coming. And all of you will be running before getting into the airport after that. कि चलो 10 ग्राम तो कम कर लो आज का.
Sir, this is Himachal here. My second question about cashew nuts. I have seen slowly the cashew nut has slipped into the paid cable bottom, not into the terminal. So that these are the part of cost cutting.
So one thing I can be sure that I am going to lose my job after I step out. Because now you will. So first is about India by Indigo. I think that's a great, it's a tagline, you can call it, it's an ad, whatever. But if you ask me, in all seriousness, what is the biggest contribution of an airline like Indigo? I will say what Indigo has done. Indigo has created from India to Bharat. And what I mean is the English-speaking India to the larger India, which talks in many languages. It used to be a monopoly of 6 or 7 airports, Hyderabad being one of them. And Hyderabad, Calcutta, Chennai, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, and another 1 or 2, that is it. उसके बाद आपको आना है तो आप बस में businesses. Our first and foremost business, which Rahul Bhatia's father started, was airline representation business, what we loosely call GSA business. Foreign airlines need a one-window office in India, and we used to provide it, and we continue to do it. The other businesses which I officially head is now Interglobe Technology Quotient. We are a travel platform. We are, along with 2 other competitors, we are Travelport distributors for the territory, and 2 other competitors, you might have heard the name, Amadeus and Sabre. And what we do is we provide the platform. So any travel agent in the country, whether it's a Make My Trip or it's your neighborhood shop, he cannot make a ticket booking without a platform. Yes. He needs the fares, he needs the schedules. So this is, in a very layman language, I'm telling you what they do. So we provide the platform. That's the job I do for living now. The third business we have is we are into technology business. We have Mr. Gurnani, you must have known him, many of you. He has recently joined hand with our company. He is retired from Tech Mahindra and he has started this company called Eonics. We are into hotels in a big way. We have a joint venture with Accor, and we have a financial partnership of 50-50. Any hotel that you see in India with the name Ibis, many of them are in Hyderabad. Novotel, many of them are in Hyderabad. Pullman, Sofitel, all of them are our joint ventures. So we own 75 hotels in India, but nobody talks about it because when you start to talk about hotels, they say, oh, Indigo wale na. They say, Indigo wala hai, okay. So we also own a hotel chain outside India. It's called K&K. We have 15 hotels outside of India. We have a big pilot training school. So most of the pilots who fly in India are trained in our academy, not Indigo, outside of Indigo also. We are into some other businesses like logistics and on it goes. When I started working for Mr. Bhatia, we were not in aviation, we were not in hotels. We were a very small company. And my late father, I was supposedly, in the views of my family, I was a bright chartered accountant. And my father had dreams that his son will be some, officer in some big MNC. So all is good. Then one day I came and told him I want to work for Mr. Bhatia. And he said, "Wo kya karte hain?" I said, "He runs a travel company." He said, "You have lost your head. Tumhare ko aur kaam nahi hai." So that is the background that I have. I said, "I like him." He said, "Tumne shaadi ko nahi karna unke saath." What do you mean you like him? So I'm just telling you the background with which I started. I just like the people, and rest is like to say history. Today we are into everything, but we were a very small company at that time. But we truly great people. And I think, and I was just talking before coming here, that for me, the ultimate quality of life, and what I have learned, the single thing I have learned, if you were to ask me, your 1 point gyan in this life, it is in my language, Sangati. In your language, or many of you, company, your associate, association, if you have, no matter who the person is, rich, poor, ugly, good looking, right people will take you to your right destination. So this is really 1 point.
So it's always a pleasure to hear you, and you take out a lot of things from your talks. You started with last but not last, right? And how Indigo was almost but for Akasha, you were the late entrant, right? So it talks a lot about your promoter's mindset also, because we all know and we have studied in our MBA schools that airline is not an easy industry, right? Can you talk a little more about your mindset at that point of time? Right now we know that you have done 8,000 crore profit, but this was not the case when you started, right? So what about the mindset of the promoters and the founding team? Like, और किसी ने बोला होगा ना पागल हो गए airline में जा रहे हैं.
No, multiple things. Thanks so much. Multiple things. First and foremost, we were in airline business, GSA business. We used to deal with airlines. Our promoters used to deal with airlines all the time. We learned what they do, except for the running of an airline. But we did part of their game. We were extended arm of an airline. So हमने कुछ सीख लिया था, कुछ interest था. Then Rahul Bhatia, who is really the visionary of this whole business, saw this space that I have just talked about. Just think about 2005. He said, there's nobody in the game. If we run a nice, efficient airline, we cannot go wrong. Because the same reason that we talked today about late timing, why on time, why this, why that was the space available. And you have to look at that space with the interest in the aviation because we have spent many years. So combination of the two factors, risk taking, yes, like Richard Branson's famous quote, if you want to be, how do you become a millionaire in airline business? Start a billionaire. You very quickly become a millionaire. So ज़्यादा time नहीं लगेगा, हो जाएगा काम. So all the risks, but the belief. It's all about belief when you get into any game in life. Any of your businesses, any of the promoters, all of you, many of you are in startups, you all dream And I tell everybody, keep dreaming, because when you dream and you get your homework right, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. I'm a great believer. I have two daughters, they're both outside India. They're young, very young for my age. I tell them, both of them, I say, come and polish shoes if you want, but follow your dream. Whatever you do, do well. This is the country that's giving opportunity. So just follow that. This is the country that is giving you that platform of 140 crore people. राहुल भाटिया many times tells me jokingly or seriously, इस देश में कुछ नहीं है, बाहर जाओ, सेटल हो, सब कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. And then Rahul Bhatia's father was 92. When he hears this, he says, राहुल को एक बात बताओ कि वो कहाँ पे इंडिगो, मिस्टर इंडिगो बना है, कहीं देश में बना है. So it's very nice to become rich here and then talk about outside. This is the country that's making all of us, and continue focus there. This will change your life. I'm telling you, sitting here today.
Thank you so much.
So, thank you, Anil. As I said, beginning of the session, the questions I can keep on answering the time. Just sorry, I think if anyone is okay, then during lunchtime you can interact. Absolutely, can provide the insights. And firstly, the key takeaways, at least I don't want to repeat what I just stuck to my mind, is like a cost efficiency is not an initiative, it's a way of life. That life is like a very excellent to hear that. And also, like a few of the examples, the thinking level is going to the extent means is like there's a great ideas and the people are thinking anytime, that's the second one. And third, you said is a cash always is the focus. So thank you, and finally, sir, I want to thank you on behalf of the Telangana CII. All the way you have traveled for this session. We are very grateful to hear very insightful session from you. Lot of suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for giving me my. I'm very honored from my heart to spend time with you. If I can even bring one little change in the way all of you work, I think it's my achievement of coming for this, because it really means a lot. Anytime I'm invited, people say, why did you rush? I said, if I can share one just one takeaway from today, I think that will really make me worth my visit. And coming this distance, because that is what it really be all about. We need to share and we need to learn from one another. Anytime any one of you have questions, Shrikant is here, Sarasima is here. I'll be here for a few minutes, then I'm rushing back to Delhi. But I'm always available. My ID will be with them, CII. Feel free to raise anything. I'm an open book. You can pick up the phone, any one of you, and call me anytime. I'm doing very great work nowadays, and it will bring a lot of talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
With this, I now invite Dr. Sri Harsha Reddy to also the distinguished speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. The third session will start at 2. Board of Directors, board resilience, compliance, governance, ఎలా ఉండాలనేది ఫస్ట్ టాపిక్. సెకండ్ వచ్చేసి all of you know like Indigo Airlines is a great success story. సో Indigo Airlines అలా సక్సెస్ ఎలా వచ్చిందనే దానికి వాళ్ళ ఎక్స్ గ్రూప్ CFOని ఇన్వైట్ చేశాం. ఆయన ఢిల్లీ నుంచి ట్రావెల్ చేశారు. ఆ సెషన్ ఆల్సో వాళ్ళు ఎలా థింక్ చేస్తారు, ఎలా కాస్ట్ ఏవైనా సరే ఆపరేటింగ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ ఎలా తగ్గించాలనేది కూడా చాలా బ్యూటిఫుల్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాడు. ఆల్సో లైక్ ఎయిర్ ఫ్లైట్స్లో వచ్చేసి వెయిట్ ఈజ్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఫర్ ఫ్యూయల్ కన్జంప్షన్. సో the way in which I think they ideates few of the ideas, it was like awesome. Even he said, even whatever we see the books also sometimes I think it was like a big weight. Just I think there also there was an idea. Even I think they are thinking about curtains of like a weight, how they can reduce. So there are very good set of ideas I think he has shared with us. Very good అనమాట. అలాగా ఇప్పుడు వచ్చేసి మళ్ళా లంచ్ తర్వాత ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ మీద ఇప్పుడు చూసామనుకోండి ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ ప్రతి దాంట్లో మన ఇప్పుడు డిజిటలైజేషన్ పేమెంట్స్ కానీ మన గూగుల్ పే కానీ ప్రతి వాళ్ళు ఇప్పుడు అసలు పర్సన్ అనేది మర్చిపోయాం అందరం వచ్చేసి డిజిటల్ పేమెంట్స్ చేస్తున్నాం నా ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ ఆల్సో చాలా బిగ్ రోల్ ఇట్ విల్ ప్లే అందుకని ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ మీద ఎలా కంపెనీలు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేశారు అనే దాని మీద సెషన్ తర్వాత అందరు సిఎఫ్ఓస్ వచ్చేసి మార్నింగ్ నుంచి ఈవినింగ్ దాకా కంపెనీ గురించి ఆలోచిస్తూ ఉంటారు చాలా బిజీగా ఉంటారు బట్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం వాళ్ళు బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయాలి పర్సనల్ లైఫ్కి ప్రొఫెషనల్ లైఫ్కి బ్యాలెన్స్ చేస్తే లైక్ ఈ హెల్త్ ఈజ్ లైక్ ఏ వెల్త్ హెల్త్ బాగుంటే మన కంపెనీలో ఏం చేయాలంటే అది చేయొచ్చు పర్సనల్ లైఫ్లో ఏం చేయాలంటే చేయొచ్చు హెల్త్ బాగలేదనుకోండి చాలా కష్టం అవుతుంది అందుకని ఒక సెషన్ వచ్చేసి డాక్టర్ సత్య శ్రీరామ్ CEO ఆఫ్ అపోలో హెల్త్ ప్రివెంటివ్ ఆమె వచ్చేసి ఆ సెషన్ అడ్రస్ చేస్తుంది లాస్ట్లో వచ్చేసి ఇప్పుడు చూసామనుకోండి షేర్ మార్కెట్లో డెఫినెట్గా లాస్ట్ 5 years అవర్ స్టాక్ ఎక్స్చేంజెస్ ఇండెక్స్ ఇది లైక్ గోయింగ్ వెరీ నైస్లీ దానికి IPOs ఏ కంపెనీ అయినా IPOకి వెళ్ళాలంటే ఎప్పుడు వెళ్ళాలి వెళ్తే వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఇంప్లికేషన్స్ ఏం ఛాలెంజెస్ వస్తాయి ఆ ఛాలెంజెస్ ఉంటే ఎలా మిటిగేషన్ చేయాలి అండ్ దాని గురించి మీద సో IPO ఒక సెషన్ అది లాస్ట్ సెషన్ సో ఓవరాల్గా ఈ 5 సెషన్స్తో లాట్ ఆఫ్ కీ టేక్ అవేస్ టు ద మెనీ ఆఫ్ ది పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ లైక్ CFO సీనియర్ ఫైనాన్స్ కొలీగ్స్ అండ్ కంట్రోలర్స్ సో ఓవరాల్ విత్ దిస్ కీ టేక్ అవేస్ వాళ్ళ కంపెనీలో వాళ్ళని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తే డెఫినెట్లీ దేర్ ఇస్ ఎ గుడ్ వాల్యూ అడిషన్ దే కెన్ కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ టు ద బిజినెస్ గ్రోత్ ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి వచ్చేసి ఉదయం ఫస్ట్ ఇనాగరల్ సెషన్కి మన డిప్యూటీ CM గారు రావాల్సింది ఆయన అర్జెంటుగా ఢిల్లీ వెళ్ళాలని ఈరోజు ఢిల్లీ వెళ్ళారు అందువల్ల జయేష్ రంజన్ గారు వచ్చారు డాక్టర్ రాజేష్ కుమార్ ఫ్రమ్ ది SBI వచ్చారు తర్వాత తెలంగాణ CII ప్రెసిడెంట్ వైస్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ ప్లస్ నేను వచ్చేసి నా పేరు ME నరసింహం డిప్యూటీ CEO ఆఫ్ డాక్టర్ రెడ్డిస్ ఐఎమ్ ఆల్సో కన్వీనర్ ఫర్ ఈజ్ ఆఫ్ డూయింగ్ బిజినెస్ ప్యానల్ ఇన్ తెలంగాణ CII ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ
Key piece is not only the strategy, but it is how you interlink your digital strategy along with your overall business strategy. So that aligning the digital strategy and the business strategy becomes really, really important. Because a lot of times when I speak to CEOs or when I speak to colleagues who are helping drive that, they say, Gaurav, we know exactly what to do to solve a problem, but there is no buy-in from the top. So that executive leadership, that buy-in from the top, is what that whole first box of strategy helps you sort of get in place and align. So that's really, really critical. The second piece is setting up smart goals. What do you really want to get out of digital, right? A lot of the times, and actually I won't say a lot of the time, all the time for businesses we know where you really want to get to. It could be a revenue target, it could be a revenue plus EBITDA, so it could be profitable revenue at the end of the day. Some organizations are looking at ROCE as a metric, it could be, different metrics that you're looking at. So there is always a business goal. But similarly, do you have goals from a digital transformation perspective or technology interface?
But those systems and processes have to be very, very strong. And hence, corporate governance from an investor's perspective is very, very important. There is a team, already what we call setting up an internal task force, whether it's ready in terms of managing the systems, managing the financial parts of it. Because once you are listed, the disclosures around the financial statements are large, right? If anybody has gone through an offer document, it's an exhaustive, voluminous kind of data that's being published. So investors keep expecting the kind of data to be presented every quarter. So that sort of a robustness in the system has to be built. So basis all this, both the non-financial and financial metrics, we can then decide yes, the company is ready or not.
Yes, thanks. And in the motivation part, yes, you touched upon a very fair point there, and also on the governance, right? But here there are most of the companies. So friends, this question is to you. What advice would you give to small and mid-sized companies who don't have to raise it all? Whether if they are contemplating whether they should be contemplating going for an IPO or not, or how should they pursue all the IPOs certainly brings creates a brand, right? It creates a transformative impact. But what advice would you give to the unlisted companies here, the unlisted companies who are contemplating going for an IPO?
Hello.
That's okay.
As to why are we going for an IPO? That is very much important. Are we trying to unlock the capital of the promoters, or are we raising funds to support our business expansion plans? So, or are we raising the funds to discharge some liabilities? So, once you have the clarity of thought, then you should start working towards your goal of taking the company for an IPO. So that is the first. And second is, be clarity, be clear about your plans, future plans. So in fact, the investors are investing on your future, not on your past performance. Even if your past performance is excellent, so we may not attract the investors. So these are the two key points we should keep in our mind, and we should start working towards achieving our goals.
So you've answered, you've touched upon why an IPO, how an IPO. Now the next question is when. How important is the timing and planning for an IPO, and what factors do you consider to determine the best timing for an IPO?
I'll come to that, Anand, and that's a pertinent question, especially. But I'll just maybe add on to what Reim has discussed, right? One of the important, and especially since the community here is more mid-cap focused, MSME focused, what we have to remember is, when we are asking that question, is have we reached critical mass in terms of getting this story out to the public? See, it's all glamorous when the IPO happens, when your stock performs, the market cap goes up, but please do understand there are bells and whistles attached to going public. There is going to be continuous monitoring, you have to be answerable to investors, your systems and processes have to be robust enough. So, those are all the qualitative aspects of it. Now, maybe to make it a little more interesting for the people around here, whether my company can go public. So I'll tell you what investors look at. Okay? Investors look at on the financial parameters what sort of a growth the company is having over the last, let's say, couple of years. Is that giving me a 10, 15, 20% sort of a CAGR? Can this company give me for the next 3 to 5 years a 10, 15 or 20, 25% sort of a CAGR? Second, how are my EBITDA margins? Is my EBITDA margins dependent on raw material pricing? Let's say, for example, if you go into the packaging aspects, crude oil, or it's dependent. So people or investors don't like too much volatility in the financials. They love predictable and steady state cash flow. So if your business, and when you as CFOs see yourself, you know how your company is going to grow over the next 3 to 5 years. And if you see these basic parameters of margin profile remaining good or increasing, your CAGR growth happening by 20-25%, your order book, if it's manufacturing or order book to sales ratio, how well those been over the past, what sort of order books you're sitting now, and if you tie all these up and see, typically it should not be used as a thumb rule, but what we typically see is what's happened is, I'll take a step back. If you look at the mid-cap AUM today, you are at close to 4 lakh crores by different AMCs, right? This 5 years back was 80,000 crores. So we are leaps and bounds over what we were 5 years back. So the ticket sizes of AMCs have also increased. So they want to put in larger amounts in companies. So the ticket sizes of IPOs have increased. So if you look at an IPO in 2015, the average size was 500 crores. Today an average size of IPO is 1,000 crores. So they want larger shares, the IPO
Address by Sri Sai Prasad, highlighting MSMEs, gender equality and ESG. Sri M.V. Garu set the context for the conclave and outlined broad themes of the conclave. CGM SBI, in his special address, shared macro statistics on Indian economy in general and Telangana economy in particular, highlighted risks of geopolitical situation, rising gold prices and interest rates. Our chief guest for the day, Sri Jayesh Ranjan, talked about the role of CFOs in bringing projects to the state and its impact on job creation and multiplier effect, highlighted importance of economic value and social value in CFO decisions. Sri R.S. Reddy presented his closing remarks for the inaugural session. And session 1 on board resilience, Sri P.R. Ramesh, of ethical dilemmas, and brought the analogy of Lord Rama, Krishna, Duryodhana, Ravana in maintaining moral and legal aspects while playing the role of CFO. He highlighted compliance should be in CFO's DNA. Another speaker for the session, Sri Parag Agarwal, highlighted that CFOs should be role model and compliance is a zero tolerance activity. Here I just want to share with the participants that Sri P.R. Ramesh was narrating about the passion quotient plus curiosity quotient should be more than the intellectual quotient. And he also highlighted that CFOs need to be future ready. Session 2 was on leadership strategies for CFOs, the story of Indigo, an engaging session with Sri Anil Parashar. There were so many takeaways. Let me bring your notice 2 to 3. Do proper homework before starting a business. Low cost does not mean low quality. Airline business can be profitable with cost leadership. Cash is most important than valuation profit in their business. These were the key points, and M.V. Garu navigated the conversation extremely well. And session 3 was on AI-driven financial transformation, where Mr. Gaurav was highlighting 6S approach for digital strategic execution and AI in manufacturing and energy management. Mr. Siddharth distinguished between analytical AI and generative AI and impact of generative AI in automation, augmentation and acceleration. And he brought out the significance of responsible AI. Session 4, one of the most engaging sessions, Dr. Satya on preventive healthcare tips. She was suggesting avoid excess, restore and revitalize the body and mind, nurture the hobbies. One of the most, Mr. Prashant and Mr. Premchand delved on why IPO and when to time an IPO. So the conclave, resilience, reinvention and reimagination, the CFO's role in a new era comes to an end. We profusely thank, first and foremost, all the participants who stayed back. A huge round of applause for all the participants who stayed back for almost 8 to 9 hours. So we thank D. Sai Prasad, Chairman, CII Telangana Executive Director Bharat Biotech International Limited, for delivering welcome address, M.V. Garu for navigating through the entire this conclave and delivering theme address, Sri Rajesh Kumar Garu for the special address, and Mallu and R.S. Reddy Garu for concluding remarks in the inaugural session. And we thank Parag Agarwal and Sri P.R. Ramesh for the session on boardroom resilience, and Mr. Anil Parashar for the session on leadership strategies, and Mr. Gaurav Kataria for the session on AI, and Mr. Siddharth. And we thank Dr. Satya Sriram for her session on Happy Healthy You, and Mr. V. Prashant Rao and Premchand Devarakonda for the session on IPO journey from vision to valuation. Let me thank the sponsors for the event, SBI, Dr. Reddy's, Aravindo, HDFC Mutual Fund, Indian Immunological Limited, IIT Hyderabad, Laurus Labs, and our technical partner Deloitte. And there are two very critical stakeholders whom I need to profusely thank. My fellow steering committee members, MVN Garu and Anand Daga, Srikant, Mr. Ballav, Manish. So huge round of applause for the steering committee members of CII CFO forum and the CII team, including me, and the CII team, the secretariat Prajita, Anusha, other names I do not know, Yash, and Ajay. So, and last but not the least, all our CII CFO members who actively participated in this one-day conclave. Huge round of applause, and I invite each one of you to please come on to this dais. We will have a group photograph with all the members who are here. Thank you, one and all.
Okay. Ready? अंदर कैमरा जुड़ा ले. Smile. Ready? Smile. 1, 2. Ready? Smile. Done. Thank you.
Okay, we should meet up because there are so many opportunities where people want to diversify. Thank you.